And we'll let Bonnie just talk about what's in the budget, just kind of give us an overview. And then share that, and then we can all go on mute and come back at 4 o'clock.
Okay, that sounds great. Because at the 4 o'clock meeting, we have the review of proposed budget A and then the narrative as B. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes, and the other thing that we're gonna do is Dale's gonna explain about the ballot that will go out to board members after this meeting, giving them the opportunity for all of our MOU partners to vote on the new board members.
Okay.
And we'll send it out right after this meeting so they can vote, so we can seat the 2 replacements.
Okay.
And then that's the only other thing that we need to talk about during the board meeting.
Okay.
Does that work for you?
Yes, that works fine. I see something from Levine saying this is the message I get when I try to sign in.
Oh.
She sent that to me and to you, Sherry. I believe that's your picture.
Hold on, sorry, I wasn't watching. Unable to join the meeting. This meeting is not accessible from South Africa at this time. Error code 1142. Dale, you wanna?
Should be able to join from anywhere with the
Yeah,
Zoom meeting.
I've never seen that.
Unless is there something new with Google, Google Meets has implemented a couple new things. Do you have to click a box for international access or something?
Leo, can you help us with that?
See your mouse.
What is that? I'm sorry.
International access to the meeting.
Oh,
Miss
Okay.
Levine is trying to come in from South Africa.
South
It worked
Africa.
last
Yes,
time.
I do have restriction there because I didn't want foreign countries.
Well, we need a foreign country to come in.
We do in
Yes.
this case. Let me look through the settings real quick and see if I can remove that requirement real quick.
Okay, well, we need to tell them that we recommend. I'll apologize. I apologize. We are working on this. Did you get it, Leo?
I'm still scrolling. There's so many settings. Still looking.
See if I can reach out to Norris to see if she's available.
That'd be great.
You can also just call Beverly on speakerphone.
That's what I was just thinking. You just have a
Would she have to pay additional fees for being overseas?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Philip, do you believe LaDuff is still out to lunch with Jason as to why he's not reporting?
I don't know. I'm texting him right now.
All right.
Put some blocks or something changes.
Found it. Okay.
So she should be able to try again now.
Yes.
Okay.
Turned off the block entry from users from specific countries.
Thank you.
I just texted you. I mean, everybody's trying to do graduations and everything else. Why don't we go ahead? Robbie, why don't we go ahead? I sent a message to her, maybe she can join us. But let's
Okay.
let Bonnie go ahead if we could to describe the budget, and then we'll go wait till any guests come in.
Okay.
Sure. Good afternoon. I'm really just gonna focus on 2 of the 4 handouts that we provided with the budget, and then we can jump into the detail if you have specific questions. But the first is just the standard general fund budget breakdown that all school districts have to complete. And we're having our first budget hearing today. Our second budget hearing will be June 17th, and then we'll do a final adoption hopefully at 4 o'clock on June 17th. The revenues are at 17.7 million overall, and I just want to point out that the state revenues have declined significantly, but luckily interest rates are up. 2 or 3 years ago, that 750,000 would have been less than 100,000 in
Wow.
earned interest, and so we've added interest earned as a revenue source, and we're counting on that to come in as we serve our students. So, and then on the expenditure side, just overall, not a lot of changes except, I'll go to in detail that's in the budget narrative, but you can see that the overall expenditures are a little over 20.5 million. So we are projecting that we have close to a $3 million decrease in our fund balance. But we're projecting that we'll end this year at about 23 million. So we're projecting that we'll end next year at about 20 million overall. And that's with state as well as federal funds, all funds combined. So any questions about the overall advertisement? This is what's on our website. And of course, we've put the ad in the paper about our hearings and the final adoption for the budget to follow the state budget law.
Okay.
Okay, just on the narrative, just a few more notes. The revenues are about a $1.5 million decrease from this current year. And that's due to decrease in student enrollment and as well as an increase in program students, but a decrease in enrolled students. And we've talked about this before, but we earn less for a program student than we do an enrolled student without that alternative weight and with the local fair share subtracted out on our program invoicing. So that's the decline in revenues. Luckily, like I said, the interest earned will be an increase. So we've added some of those funds back. We're continuing to monitor the revenue number. Final allotment sheets from the DOE still aren't out for FY26, but we're using the projection that DOE sent out a couple weeks ago. And we feel pretty confident with the interest earned and our program student invoicing based on the program students that we currently have now. Any questions about revenues?
No,
No,
not
it makes
here.
sense.
Okay. Just expenditures, and we talked through this a little bit at the last board meeting, but there's no planned staff raises. We took a look at expenditures in every area, department, really every budget line item, compared it to what we spent this year, what our plans are for next year. Spent a lot of time reorganizing at the regional level to save costs. You saw those that reorganization in the RIF plan that was approved at the last board meeting. And of course, we changed all of our staffing formulas to be to the tiered approach, changed our summer staffing and decreased it based on, anticipating only about half of our students normally attend all summer long, and changing those staffing formulas and reducing and making the staff more efficient at the regional office is really probably the biggest reason that we're able to save 3.6 million in expenses. But right now, this year, the current budget is projected to be 3.5 million less than it was this current year in expenditures. Again, we're continuing to refine. Dale and I had a conversation today that may have an addition between your tentative adopted and your final adoption, but that happens every year, but we'll be real close to these numbers. And then again, I've already talked about the fund balance. You can see that for FY25, we anticipate using 2.6 million this year, and then another 2.9 million next year. And if our student enrollment and what we earn per student remains the same or similar, with that $20 million in the bank, we ought to be able to sustain about 4.5, 5 more years without really needing to look at our funding formula and doing something differently. So the other pages in the budget narrative you've had before, it just details out the RIF plan and increases by department if we had any. We can look at those, or the workbook that is out there actually has detailed down almost to the person and by site, and we can jump into a particular site or a particular area if you would like. And then the last attachment that's out there for the hearing is just our pay schedule and what we pay hourly, and then what our salaried positions are paid. Because you normally as a board approve that as part of the budget process every year. So unless you guys have specific questions, those were the comments that I have planned for today.
I don't have any questions. Dr. Brown, do you have any questions?
No, I'm good with everything that's been presented.
Okay, all right. So
So
we will move.
if we could just still be, we can everybody go on mute and come back at 4:00. And we'll have a meeting just to approve the tentative budget, and then Dale will talk about the ballot that we'll send out after this
Is
meeting.
it different? It's a new link. It's a new link. So they'll need to hang up and do the new link, right?
Yeah, but
Okay,
come back.
Yes.
Come back at 4:00 for the
all right,
next.
and Dale is sending out the new link. That's what you just said, correct?
It's all right. It's in that same email. It's just
Okay.
a little bit lower on the message. Yep.
All right, sounds like a winner. See you at 4.
Now he's gonna be there at 4 too. I just talked to him.
Oh, great.
Okay,
All
good.
right.
Perfect.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Leah,
Yes, ma'am.
listen, I just heard back from Beverly. She's in Africa at the moment, and she said she's still getting the same message.
Hmm. I wonder
So-
if, because we already had the meeting open and started,
Yeah, so maybe can you fix the 4 o'clock?
yeah, it's really a general settings of the Zoom. Yeah, I turned it off completely.
Oh,
So yeah, probably when I close this meeting, start at 4 o'clock, that should take effect.
When did you
And
start doing that kind of setting?
um, long time, but when pretty much remember when you had the incident with charter school, somebody coming in. I didn't want anybody scouring the internet on a publicly accessible Zoom link.
That was
And
a long time ago.
yeah, a
Because
long time
Beverly
ago.
was
She
in
got in.
Africa, another.
the April board meeting,
We
she's
didn't
been
have
there.
any trouble
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
It was just April.
It was. Is your mom sick or she just put it on the?
Is there anything you can do about the 4 o'clock meeting?
Can't think of anything at the time
So
except
she shouldn't try to, should I just tell her thanks but no thanks?
she can try again just to see. I wonder that, I thought settings are kind of changed on the fly, but maybe because we changed it while we were in the meeting, it didn't affect this meeting. But it might affect that 4 o'clock meeting. So she can maybe try at 4.
I was thinking too, but if she's got an iPhone, if we,
I think you got muted.
So we now had our first budget hearing, so we can log in and go into our meeting.
Okay,
We're gonna go ahead and log out of this meeting and go into the 4 o'clock.
sounds good. Thank you.